Hey friends, welcome to today's video. If you are new here, my name is Tracy. I love to share crafty ideas with a bit of rustic country charm. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. Guys, some of my followers and subscribers have been asking for more painted projects, and you know that I love to take some Dollar Tree things and flip them into something cute. So that's what I'm doing today. So guys, I took a 4th of July item from the Dollar Tree and flipped it into a summer decor item for my wreath. So let me show you how I did it. Okay, this is what I am using, one of these flag pennants from the Dollar Tree. And to get that pesky sticker off, because I am going to be painting on this side, I'm just using my heat gun. I got this one at Harbor Freight a couple of years ago, but a blow dryer will work as well. And I just take that off so that it's all smooth. And then this is the side that I'm going to paint on. The other side has a lot of glitter on it, and I just don't want to take the time to smooth that out. I drew out about an inch around the edge of the little pennant flag. I know that the camera doesn't pick up the pencil, but I did draw it out with the pencil. And so then these are the paints that I'm using, a red and a couple of different colors of green, as well as some white puffy paint. You'll see that in the video of what I use that white puffy paint for to accent my watermelons. All right, so to get started, I painted a coat of the red on to like the inside of the watermelon, and then I will move on to the outer part. I gave 2 coats of the red as well as 2 coats of the green. This particular board right here, it kind of soaks up a little bit, so I needed 2 coats of that. I'm using a 1 1/4 inch spouncer, sponge, dauber, whatever one chooses to call it. And I am just gonna put some polka dots on this because I wanted to mix it up a little. And just to give my polka dots, I'm just using some white paint and just dipping it in there, and then just kind of spreading them out wherever I see fit, and just, sponging them on. So I kept this included here because I'm going to show you how I correct some mistakes that I do. But what I did is I cut a piece of paper to round it off so that I could, stamp or sponge some paint on my watermelon. Well, then once I looked at it, I'm like, that's a little too close. So I take a baby wipe. The paint is still wet, and so I just take a baby wipe to kind of get off as much as I can. I'll go back over it with some red and kind of like start over and move over the white polka dot so that it's not so close to the other one. And so, I just want to encourage you guys that want to learn how to paint. You're going to make mistakes, but in painting, you can just paint over it. So then here you'll see me, I'm just taking my sponge and that paper and then just responging it so that it is a little bit, more even spaced. Now I am going to give some dimension to my watermelon, and I like to use some black paint this is what I do to shade my projects. If you're new to my channel or to my videos, I have a cup of clean water, and I have a 1/2 inch flat paintbrush. I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water, and then I blend on a paper towel. I like to use the shop towels from, you can get them in the automotive section at, Walmart, or I buy a big bundle of them from Sam's. Anyway, but I just blend on a paper towel, and then I just go around my projects just to give it a little depth and dimension. I'm using my white paint pen. This is a Posca 3M size, and I do have them in my favorites in my Amazon affiliate shop. There is a link in the description box if you would like to check out these paint markers. All right, then I'm using my fan brush, and that lighter green, it's Margarita, and that is the color of it. And anyway, I just am making the, the stripes of the watermelon. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just kind of spacing them out with my fan brush as I go along on the outside of this rind. Then I'll take my number 2 liner and go back more because, I just got to do what I got to do. And I just always add so much to my projects. It's just in my soul. It's what I do. God has given me these talents and these gifts, and I love to share them with you. So, I just encourage everyone who watches that likes this style of painting, leave off things, add more, don't do it, use different colors. These are just my ideas that I like to do, and I'm so glad that you're here. All right, so I like to give some kind of like a shadow to my dots, and so I just have some gray paint that I am doing the same thing. I'm dipping half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water, blending on a paper towel, and then I do a little swoosh on the tops of my dots to give it a little bit of shadow. Now I am doing my splatter dots. Now I love splatters, paint splatters. And a lot of you do too, and I so appreciate that. If it's not your style, then don't do it. But anyway, what I do is I have a stiff brush that I dip in black paint first, I splatter on, and then I go back over it with white to give me the look that I'm looking for. Okay, so then now I am painting the seeds on this particular watermelon slice. I'm just using a round brush, and I'm kind of doing like a teardrop or a almond shape, and I'm just going over it with paint and just going through. And on the next watermelon slices, I show you how I use a black Sharpie marker, and then I fill that in, and then I go back over it with my paint. I think the beauty is in the details, and I do add a lot of details to my painted projects because I like the look of it. Here I am just taking a thin liner brush and just giving a black swoosh to the polka dots, and then I take my liner brush to give some added squiggles because I love some squiggles. All right, this is what I'm using the puffy paint for. It's kind of like the white, in the watermelon. I just do some, some zigzag pattern around the, where the green meets the red, and it kind of helps just add, cover up any like flaws and that kind of thing. So then now I'm just doing some extra just by adding a bit of white highlight to the seeds. And here is how the watermelon slice turned out. And then what I did with it is I used it as an embellishment for a wreath. Of course, y'all know that I design wreaths for a local business. So I love the all of the gingham and all of the plaid and all of the doodles. Just really, I don't know, it just makes my heart very happy. Next up, I'm going to share how I use that same sign to create the watermelon slices. So let me share how I did that. I used that same patriotic sign from the Dollar Tree as well as a box blade cutter, and I just scored it about 10 to 15 times to really get it. I just kept going over it. I took my ruler and I just kept scoring it so that it would break off clean. And so then that's what I have left. I'm also using those same colors of paint that I did in the first watermelon. So here you'll see right here, this is how I just draw off with my pencil, kind of like where I want the rind to be. And so on this one, I started with the green, and in the first one, I started with the red. So, it just really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Anyway, so I just started with the green, and I'm going to paint the green on each one of those. Then I will go back with the red, and I gave each of these slices 2 coats of paint. This is the varnish I use on all of my painted projects. I like the glossy finished, and so I just love how I can flip this cute patriotic sign and turn it into cute watermelon slices, either individual slices or a half of a watermelon slice. Anyway, all right guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all being here. I love your sweet comments, your support. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me. I appreciate you and am so blessed by your presence here. All right guys, have a great day and God bless.